I have an obsession, and that is every morning I would rush to my phone before my eyes even fully open, and I would check CoinMarketCap. It's almost like a ritual that I've been doing every morning, and for the past few days, it's been more than depressing. We've seen the cryptocurrency market slide almost to the $200 billion mark, so almost below that, and that is in fact quite scary. But to me, after rationalizing it for a bit and calming down to think about it, I really see this as a huge turning point. And that is because this is now the official end of a crazy bull run. And you might say, Michael, that is super stupid. The bull run really ended late January. That was when things really started going downhill and suddenly the bear market really took over. But hear me out, because what we saw is there was still a lot of hopeful mentality, this gradual hope that yes, crypto is going to go back up to its January levels. There was this nascent hope that even though we might say to ourselves, okay, keep our expectations down, deep down inside, deep down, we're hoping something like, for example, the ETF an ETF approval was suddenly changed and switched the tides of war, suddenly going towards a crazy Bitcoin pump and leading to an altcoin rally. But I think right now, if you look at the sentiment right now and this realization, is that the recent dip has caused a lot of people to begin to realize that that's not going to happen anytime this year. It's to a point where I've been beginning to speak to people, fund managers, be it fund managers, project managers. They are starting to realize that, well, that crazy bull run was really much of a fluke. It was the public's exposure to many cryptocurrencies for the first time. And if they got in, they probably got burnt, and they probably don't want to go back very soon. It's, just after you lost money, it's probably not the smartest idea to go back home just yet, go back to crypto just yet. And if they haven't gone in, they're probably laughing to their graves right now, saying, haha, you guys fell for it. But ironically, this now shift from the end of that bull run is really good. And it takes a lot for me to say that. It took a lot of time for me personally to just stare in this cup of tea. That's what I'm drinking. I'm just like staring at the cup of tea and wondering what to say before the video. It took me a while to realize that this is actually a good thing. Because if you think about it, during the stupid bull run, what was really important was what was immediately happening. What coins were pumping, and you would try to find a pattern to what coins were pumping and try to guess the next coin that will pump. That was the fastest way to make money. This is because during the crazy bull run, a single tweet from, say, John McAfee would send something like Verge from cents almost to dollars. That's how crazy it was. And people really didn't care about the fact of whether this coin was good or not. Let's not make this a Verge debate. But rather, it was this mentality. If you can sell an idea the fastest way possible, if a name was sexy enough, then that was all that matters. The name and the people backing it, and the fact that people would buy it. These are the factors that are most important. But the tech gets sidetracked. Actual adoption got sidetracked. And really, it entered a very speculation-heavy market. But what we see now is that cryptocurrencies are falling without resistance. That is because the people who were speculating, they're getting out because they really don't believe in it. And in fact, we're entering a state where we're slowly trying to build up the fundamentals. And this is very evident in the current discussions that are happening in the space. The fact that we're looking into technologies at a much deeper level. And I myself, I was quite surprised when I was digging further into sharding that there were many types of sharding, be it transaction sharding, network sharding, or computational sharding. Like, that was very interesting to just read about the different types and different approaches and how these approaches can scale blockchain infrastructure, whether it be, going beyond sharding, it's now vertical or horizontal scaling, if you want to put those industry fad words there. But the crux of it is that now we're going deeper. And the crux of this is that if this is the end of the bull market, the fact is that I for now, I realize that even if an ETF comes, we're still just gonna maybe bounce a bit. But in terms of actual adoption, in terms of actual understanding of crypto, we're still quite far from it. And that what we were fighting for before, the sprint and to the finish line, we realized that the finish line now is much further away, and the mentality is to really prepare for a marathon. That is a much better mentality to take at this current point, that this race now is not a 100-meter sprint dash trying to find the latest news and to just make use of that, but rather to look at a much more long-term picture. This is what is going to win, because the finish line is not at 100 meters, but it is at multiple kilometers. It is much further out than what most people would think. So this actually led to me being ironically much happier, even though that we're dipping in the state and there's still mass panic on the streets. It does go to show that the people who are interested in the tech are surfacing up, they're bubbling up and still presenting content and still talking about it. I've definitely been very interested in projects that are still trying to engage, develop, and do more development than ever. And this is very apparent when recently I've been talking to both Wax and Engine and Player. For Wax, they're deploying a beta version of the decentralized item exchange, and they're handling a huge number of transactions per second. So that is not only going to show that their technology can handle a huge number of transactions per second for collectible items, but there is a market for collectible items, which was very surprising for me, because I feel like right now we're still at the early stage, but there is a lot of intrinsic interest in having item ownership. Second of all, I've been talking to Engine recently, just going on the gaming theme of things. They've been developing a lot with blockchain explorers and wallets to keep deployable items. And finally, with Player, there's a lot more kind of long-term developments and long-term mentality going into that project. So with these projects, what I see is that there is a lot of push, and I'm still on the sidelines looking for projects that are pushing forward as well, not to mention blockchain infrastructure projects or even middleware projects like Open. Because what we can see is that the market is extremely volatile right now, and catching a falling knife has been proven to be a very bad idea. Buying the dip, so to speak, might mean that you buy into a very early dip, and the larger dip is only just around the corner. We're just beginning. And I see a lot of volatility in this market still. The matter of fact is that this is the beginning of the realization that this is a marathon. The stupid bull run, that's not likely to come back, even though as much as I wanted to come back, I want another bull run that is absolutely crazy, it's fun, and people get much more absorbed into this and there's greater adoption. But as a matter of fact, it does incur a lot of penalties as well, being the fact that people, if they do lose money, they'll lose interest without even discovering what the actual tech is. So being in a much slower state is much better, and I really feel like this is the beginning of a new chapter rather than the end. And that's it, guys, for my current thoughts on the market. And this is why I tweeted out yesterday, I'm neither panic selling nor am I panic buying. The current market is being controlled by whales and have no interest in participating. Leverage trades equals to getting wrecked, and I'm sitting in the sidelines studying up and watching projects that make giant strides, and I hope you can share that adventure with me as well. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Remember to click the little subscribe button to share this adventure with me, and click the little like button as well if this video helped you think or if you agree with this video. I'd love to hear what you think as well. Are you in a pattern of still browsing CoinMarketCap every day? And do you feel emotional from that? Tell me in the comment section below, and I'd love to hear what you think. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you next time.